Alright, we got one coming down the hill. He'll be coming down the corner, around the corner in a little bit. Here he comes. Piggyback train. Container train anyway. Follow the man coming up now. Orange DOT on the bottom end. Crew coming home from Atlanta to Greenwood. I hope you're having fun. Thank you for watching. God bless y'all. 9:22 at night. It's a foggy night tonight. I'll get more. I hear a train coming. Alright, here we go. I don't know who we got, guys. Crew out of Atlanta coming home. Real foggy day today. Covered hoppers, grainers. Chicago Northwest and paint jobs on it. We got some other people down here tonight filming. SHPX. Loaded on the range, TTTX, diesel off. The ones that normally come through here this way, but there's not a whole train of them. They used to bring them in to send them to Columbia to be unloaded. Not by myself tonight. I don't know who my friend is, but a lot of men coming by. Dr. Daniel Midland, Blue EOT on the bottom end plastic. Alright, thank y'all for watching. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out in the woods, Sumter National Forest. Muckaway Road's up there at the end. You can see a little bit of it. We got a train coming out of Greenwood headed to Abbeville. He's blowing that Muckaway Road right now. Coming at us. I don't know what we got. We got a different color locomotive on here. He's waving. Got the chassis system locomotive. I haven't seen that before. SCWS coal train is empty. Alright, looks like the bottom end coming up. Alright, Blue EOT on the bottom end. He's headed to Greenwood, headed on to Atlanta. Fresh crew out of Greenwood, probably about 8 miles to my back behind me. Alright, I'll see you. I gotta catch up with my friends. We're out walking around looking in the woods. They've been out here, harvested all the trees out of here. So that's why I could see the train. Usually over here in the woods you don't get to see the train too well. Alright, thank y'all for watching. God bless y'all. High rail equipment going by. Just right after that freight train I just filmed. Alright, thank you. I'm down on the Long Canyon River underneath CSX railroad tracks. These would have been, I'm assuming, the second piers put in. The first piers probably would have been a wooden trestle across here, and then they tore it down and put up a metal bridge. Up there you see you got concrete piers and abutments and stuff. So I assume those were added to this. But this is your bridge up here. I don't know when it was built. It's got a builder's plate up there, but you had to get up there and climb up that ladder to be able to read it. And I'm not able to do that. I had to climb that concrete wall. Alright, y'all. There's some original blocks I laid down, I guess, to help out with erosion. You can see some of the original timber trestles up there. So it says this railroad bridge has been built at least 3 times down through here. See all those wooden poles up there would have been the original, whatever held this deck up here until they put the concrete in and probably built a new bridge deck up there. Alright, so that's the history of 3 bridge modifications. Thank y'all. Oh, Greenwood is that way and Abbeville is behind me. And you have to go down there to something national forest and walk down in the woods just to look around at stuff like this. Alright, thank you. Hope you enjoy. That's the bridge on Long Canyon. Had some friends of mine back in high school days that got caught out there. The motorcycles that got run over because they couldn't get off the bridge in time. Alright, thank you. Alright, we got a red, a yellow, and a red. That's a medium approach, y'all. We got a train scheduled to come out of Greenwood. It's got the signal set up for them. I'm down there at the north end. Alright, thank y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a train coming by. Abbeville switcher, I bet. All covered hoppers fully loaded. This is going over to the grain silo down the tracks from Melbourne. I don't know what he's going to do, if he's going to go deliver it or he's going to put it in the yard. I don't know. He only had approach signal, so he's even not going to the south end. Or he's going to meet another train over here coming out of the south, coming north. I don't know what he's going to do. Alright, thank y'all. Thank y'all for watching. God bless you. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we had approach signal. I didn't film it, but we got a clear signal southbound now on the main line. Alright, thank y'all. I'm going to try to catch this train here in a little bit when it comes out of Greenwood. Thank you. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here's our southbounder coming at us. Coming out of the park, coming out of Greenwood, fresh crew. Looks like a manifest freight. I heard a horn blowing at the south end. I think we might have one coming south at us. in the refrigerators, ovens. These are empty grainers here. Got loads in those cars. That one's loaded. These are loaded. Arm and Hammer. That's not a railroad, y'all. Carmel's empty. Burlington Northern empty. Hot ammonia. Those are loaded. That one's empty. Those corrosives in there, one's full, the rest are empty. These are empty cars. Empty, 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 empty. Empty tank cars, flammable. Got loads of steel. That goes down to Alabama, I believe. They got shipyards down there. They take that steel and make structural elements out of I-beams and channels and stuff. Potash fully loaded. Bottom end coming by. Coming up. It ain't come by yet. Cap Proactive. That's what's on that car. Blue EOT on there. He's got clear signal so he can go on out when he gets to the south end. I heard another train blow. I don't know whether the switch is still down there or what. So he got red over red on all the signals. All right, thank you. 6:30 Tuesday morning, got the abbeville switcher sitting there. Crew's probably over in the office getting ready to go out. I don't know where they are. Okay, everybody, I've been hearing the train horn blow. I was up on Main Street and I run down here to catch it. Come out of the south. I don't know who it is. Look like double stacks. Got a container crane and a container train comes out of Atlanta and goes to Charlotte. Plus 08 5245. Got orange EOT on that one. Alright, thank y'all. Alright, we got the Abbeville switcher coming in, but they got another train in the yard track with a locomotive on it. So I don't know where we got two trains, two switchers working out of Abbeville or what, I don't know. Looks like he's gonna pull up and yard that train. Looks like you're gonna end up putting that in the yard too. Got 8 car loads of granite. Alright, shoving back into the yard. I guess he's gonna grab that stuff and take it all to Greenwood. I don't think he's gonna park. It's awful early in the day. Alright, they're coupling up. I'm gonna pause it when he gets ready to move again. I'll get some more. I think he's coming out. See the temporary ditch lights that are on the plow, the bottom end of the locomotive, the end that's facing us. So they're stuck on, those ditch lights are stuck on by magnets, and they just plug them into the MU receptacle up there on the locomotive to get the power to power those lights up. Alright, thank you. Alright, here's our train pulling out. Looks like they're pulling everything out of the yard track now. DC, 4,000 horsepower DC locomotive. Engineers waving at us, y'all. Alright, he's shoving her all back up in the yard. I guess he's gonna tie it down and stuff. Got the conductor walking back up. He's got to line that derail, line the switch. Alright, thank you. I'll get more when I see more activity. Alright, anyway, back when they built it, you could line all your boxcars down there and each one would fit a door. Or, I don't know. Alright, here's the railroad track right away. Here's the highway crossing, still has some wood in it. And that's it, heading back to Mount Carmel. Back to McCormick, South Carolina, would have lined up with the main line. Alright, the main line is still run by CSX. They pick up railroad cars off the Clinchfield Railroad, which is CSX, and bring it down the Atlantic Coastline main line. Alright, but this was just a branch off of that went between McCormick and that way to Anderson, South Carolina. It is now the Pickens Railroad. And look, we got a bunch of smoke coming up over there. That looks like a lot of steam. It's either something wet that's burning or they're trying to put it out, but I don't see any smoke up there. It just looks like steam. There's no power plants over there that I know of. I had to go look on map, but right now YouTube ain't working out here in the woods. Not down there. I don't have a signal. Alright, thank y'all. See the rocks over there and the bricks on down there? That's the Terry Carter drainage pipe right there, the bricks. You can see a hole in it at the bottom of it. But I don't know what all those stones are. They might have had them for whatever they had for the ditch in the olden days and took that out and threw them stones around and put that brick with the culvert in it. I have no idea. It doesn't look like no foundations for a building over there or nothing. Alright. Y'all enjoy. That's the railroad track right away, Atlantic Coastline Railroad. Port Royal and Western was one name of it. And Charleston Western or something, I don't know. At one time it was the Augusta-Knoxville Railroad. That's why you have SALAC over in Greenwood, because that's where the Seaboard Airline Augusta-Knoxville had a depot they'd stop at. Alright, thank y'all. I'm going up this road here. It's a nice gentle walk. That's somebody's private land over there. They cut all the trees out. Got it posted, they don't want you going on the land over there. It doesn't look like they've gone back and replanted trees. Those are just volunteers that came up from the trees that were there. So I don't know, we're going to grow the pine trees back to get them harvested again. I don't know. I haven't seen any cattle around here, so nobody's a cattle farmer. I have a place like that, got water to drink. I make that a big old pasture land. Mow it. Go through that big old bush hog and clear it out. Make pasture land. Raise some food. I don't know, that red clay looks like that might be tough to grow some pasture out there. But if it grows all that stuff, you think grass would grow. Alright, here's what we come to look at. I walked through it yesterday. The oldest date of somebody, I mean the youngest, not the youngest, but the farthest back in history is 1893 when somebody died. So that's, I think it's on the Jones one here. Seen one back there said 1891. Alright, sorry about that. We're in. Let me see what this says. This enclosure is erected in loving memory of Darrell J. McAllister by his family, 1963. Alright, so let me see. That's Cage. I don't know anything about him, but he must have been important. Sarah Stark, wife of Guilford Cage. 1851, November 16th, 1851. And this man made it to 1907. Alright. Let's walk around and see what this one says. You got 2 or 3, one sunk in right there. Alright, thank you. Alright, they got a gate here. And that's the old right-of-way for the Atlantic coastline. Goes through the gate and goes on up that way where I've been filming that. That's heading back to to McCormick and Augusta. McCormick's where it gets on the main line. Alright. So that's railroad history and local history. Alright, thank you. I'm walking down the old right-of-way. Looks like this was a cut here. They just dug it out to run the tracks to. There's the old railroad crossing up there, the highway crossing. I'm gonna walk down and see if I see anything. Alright, thank you.